Okay. Can anyone tell me? Can you see my screen? Um, if you can just give me an emoji. Thank you, Stefanos. Okay. Let's start. At any time if you don't see my screen or there's something that you want to say, please open your mic and uh, give me a heads up. Okay. So today we're gonna be focusing on one thing that's a roadmap for your careers challenge, since we are now moving on into our phase 3 part of your training, which is about professional branding and your overall outputs once you leave an academy. We want you to be ready and prepared to the real world experience so that you can have an advantage when you join the workforce. Okay, so I want you to take a look at Mahatma Gandhi's quotes. The future depends on what you do today. Um, so I want you to think of these next minutes as fuel for your career's road trip, and we'll try to explore a simple 5-step framework you can reuse for any goal. It doesn't even have to be your career, but we believe these 5 steps can be can serve you as a real frameworks. So before we get into the 5 steps, why do you have to plan at all? So no one lands on a dream role by accident. It takes clarity, consistency, and a plan. So a written roadmap turns vague hopes into daily actions you can measure. It boosts your confidence when opportunities or obstacles appear. Okay. Without further ado, the first step is you have to define your destination. Uh, I want you to name one career or target or sector or in any seniority, and I want you to describe why it matters and what success looks when you go through that path, and its impacts, its projects, and its value that it has. And uh, add one real world role model as a proof that it's achievable. You'll be able to do this in your challenge, which I will be introducing in about 10 minutes after these presentations, and we will go through them again. So step two is once you define your destinations here, you move on to assessing where you stand. So you have to list down the skills, the knowledge, and experiences that you already have that are related to that targeted goal. And you have to identify the gaps holding you back. And you have to have an honest self-assessment. This usually saves you a month's worth of trial and error, and it will boost your chances. The third one is after you've assessed where you stand, the third step is you have to identify your actions and assess your resources. You have to ask, what do I need to learn or to do or to obtain this career road? And you have to list the courses, the projects, and the mentors you have to communicate, the communities you have to join, or any tools to close any opportunities to close each of your gaps. So, as a tip, uh, I mean, we've already done this on our peer mentorship tutorial, but if uh, if you can, please reach out to your previous peer, and with a micro deadline, um, you have to communicate with each other and try to work through this together. It's actually we found out that it's actually much more helpful if you at least see what your peer is working on and what his or her goal is, so that you can adjust to market needs. It doesn't have to be your peer, actually. You can just follow the channels posts that we're going to have for this week, and I'll try to make them as relatable as possible to this weekend 2 year plan because this is a really important part of the training. So the fourth and fifth step is prioritize, schedule, and review. You have to rank actions by impact versus effort, and then place them on a simple timeline. And you have to set these checkpoints to review or tweak or adjust them. If you've reached those checkpoints, you have to celebrate these progresses regularly. Um, so these plans are living documents. You have to be willing to refresh them as you go. You have to be adapting to them. Um, as you know on your technical projects, there's this thing called continuous improvement and continuous development (CICD), and it's kind of like that. As you go through these projects, as you go through this um, plan, make sure that you adjust them at each checkpoint. It's not set in stone. Once you define your plans, it's not it doesn't have to be you don't have to follow it book by book. As time changes and as your as market needs change, you have to change your priorities and you have to review it and start again if that's the right thing to do. So you have to be able to assess them. So let's review. The first one is you have to define your destination. The second one is you have to assess where you stand. Third one is identify actions and resources. Fourth and fifth is you have to prioritize, schedule, review, and repeat. So yeah, the last thing I want you to take into account is you have to accept hurdles and you have to name habits or communities that will keep you on track and use a simple metric, maybe a weekly study hours or a monthly project deliverables to measure your progress, which will make it very easy. And you have to know that small, consistent steps beat rare heroic sprints. This means as you see the cute bears over here trying to build a wall, each brick is as important as the last one. So these small and consistent steps are the heartbeat of your progress. So I want to introduce you to one of my favorite authors. His name is Robert Kiyosaki. He's a Japanese American entrepreneur and investor. He was born in 1947. He's best known for the global bestseller Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you haven't read this, I highly recommend you to read this. This has uh, potential changing into the way or the perspective you have about your career, and it's basically has one important note. You have to make financial literacy simple and urgent for everyone. Assets or over liabilities, you get the idea of cash flow quadrant, employee. Uh, it actually encourages you to be self-employed and you try to be a business owner and investor. It basically teaches you how important it is to have financial literacy in this day and age. It will help you develop a passive income mindset, which helps you build an asset that earns while you sleep or while you're working on another job. Uh, so basically, as I said, everything is learn, apply, teach, and then repeat. His framework turns career choices into wealth building strategies, aligning perfectly with our 2 year planning goal. So one of my favorite quotes from him is this one: "Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow." So I recommend you to read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then once you read that, we can talk about it in the community building channel, or you could just text me on Slack, and then we can talk with each other about this. Great guy. So if you before we move on to the challenge doc, if anyone has any questions, you can just write them on the comment box, or you can just unmute and speak. I'll address your concerns. And just share careers challenge. Okay, so you guys see my screen, right? Okay. Thanks, Daniel. All right. So let's go through the background about the 2 year challenge, 2 year plan challenge. As I described on our slides, no one lands their dream job role by accident. It takes you clarity and consistency and a plan. Whether you're just entering a workforce or changing direction, your ability to break down a goal into practical and minimal steps will set you apart. The 2 year plan challenge asks you to define where you want to be professionally within the next 24 months and how you get there. uh, you'll map out the skills you need and actions you'll take, and the milestones you hit along the way. Think of it as a blueprint for your own career development. This isn't just a reflection exercise, it's a strategy session with yourself. You leave with working documents that you can revise, reference, and execute as you grow. To support your planning process, we recommend this link, 7 tips for successful career planning, and we've actually put additional references at the end of this challenge document, or you can also find it as always on Connect. So this article outlines actionable tips for skill growth and goal setting. It offers structured steps like self-assessment, skill development, and SMART goals, SMART goals, which will teach you about these. So is sorry, your exercise is you have to create a professional two-page maximum um, document covering the following. The first one is you have to define your career goal. Choose a career direction you want to pursue over the next 2 years. This could be a specific job role, level of seniority, and domain sector. You have to include a short explanation of why this goal matters to you, what success would you would look like in this role, and optionally you can add one or two real world professionals who've achieved your path or a similar path to yours, and what you're aiming for. Include their LinkedIn links if there's an available link on LinkedIn about these people. Second one is identifying key professional skills you need. Pick 5 skills that are essential to the role or industry you're targeting. These should be technical, strategic, or role specific. For example, you can say SQL, market analysis, stakeholder management, data storytelling. Uh, the list goes on and on. For each skill, we want you to briefly include where you are now. Are you a beginner, intermediate, or advanced? What do you need to be in 2 years? And how you plan to develop these skills. Uh, Basically a structured plan. For example, courses, internships, mentoring, hands-on projects. You can include them here. Third step is choosing 3 supporting skills to strengthen your edge. Pick 3 complementary skills that will help you to operate more efficiently in the real world. This can be communication, decision making, systems thinking, learning, agility. If you remember last week on T-shaped professionals, we talked about these T-shaped, the horizontal roles and vertical roles that you have to learn when you go through uh, the specific role you want to apply. Yeah. So you have to explain the skill, why the skill matters to your work, your current ability, what you do to grow it. Uh, this might be books, practice, or team activity. So the fourth one is milestone and timeline. You have to break down your 2 year plan into 3 phases. First one is months under 6 months. Second phase is under 1 year. The third phase is under 24 months, which is 2 years. With each phase, write 2 to 3 clear and measurable goals. These could be completing a capstone project, leading a small team effort, presenting uh, your work publicly, passing certification, or getting a first internship or a job. This could all be part of your milestones or timelines. You may include a timeline diagram or a table or a roadmap that just helps you clarify your plan. Fifth one is staying on track. Um, and 3 to 5 thoughtful paragraphs. You please reflect on what personal or external challenges one might affect your progress. What habits or communities or systems will help you stay consistent? How you'll track your progress and hold yourself accountable? What do you do if you get a major roadblock or your goal shifts? So, as a bonus, this is a bonus, which is optional, a role model check-in. We want you to find one real person whose career path really inspires you. Share 3 to 5 sentences summarizing what you admire about their journey and which part of their trajectory you'd like to model. Um, One thing I want to mention on this exercise is maximum 2 page document is not, I mean, if it's a 3 page document, we still accept it. We just don't want it to be really long, you know. So if you have to make it more than 2 pages, then that's totally fine. Okay, so tutorial session is the day. Your submission is that you have to provide your answer in two 2 page Google document and submit the link on 10x. So the marking rubrics will consist of the first one is your writing and presentation. Second one is career goal clarity and justification. Third is skill identification and planning. Third one is timeline, milestones, and feasibility. That's the last one is reflection and self-assess awareness. So this exercise equips you with a professional development strategy that's immediately applicable beyond training by setting a clear career direction, defining practical goals, and building skill-based roadmap. You will prepare. Uh, this will prepare yourself to take ownership of your growth, whether applying for a job, planning learning path, or navigating career transitions. Um, this kind of forward planning improves your focus and confidence and job readiness in the competitive industries. So these are really important links we've gathered here for you, and go through these before you make sure you go through these before you start working on your challenge. Okay, I think this is the end of the challenge document. Then just go back to um, the meeting, and if anyone has any questions, please go ahead. I believe this week's challenge will be interesting, wouldn't you not? Career planning. I've been waiting for you guys to get introduced to this challenge, so I'm really excited about this week's challenge. Okay, if anyone doesn't have any questions, don't have any questions, you can still message me on Slack if you have anything or if you want to go through the challenge together. If Emilian will not be available for this week, so if anyone wants to contact him, please make sure um, you direct your questions towards me so that I can help you with anything that you have. Okay. If anyone has any questions, I'm still available, or you text me on Slack. I'll try to make the community building as relatable as possible. Moving on, please try to have more engagement on that channel. I'll try to be as relatable and basically fun, so that anyone can join on these activities. Okay. I'm just stop the recording here. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today.